Welcome to Real Estate with Ellen. Let's talk about the biggest housing correction that's going to come since the beginning of World War II. We're going to see some massive 40 to 50% discounts. So we'll talk about which neighborhoods and which areas are going to see the biggest losses ever. And then we'll go over charts of how the markets were just artificially inflated and why that is about to come right back down to reality. So be very careful. Let's also talk about buyer's remorse. For the people that bought over the last 6 months or so, they're going to be upside down 10 or even 20%, which means they can never ever refinance until they're actually back in the positive, which is a really bad setup. You have to understand that the price of the home is way more important than your actual interest rates, because those you can always refinance. You can't change what you bought that home for. And then let's also talk about the major disappointment in Feds and why I see us going way past 10, even 11% over the next 2 or 3 months. Then we'll talk about how high these interest rates can actually go in terms of when will the Feds actually stop hiking them. And then let's talk about why you should not, under any circumstance, be buying any properties right now. The time is getting close, maybe a month, 2, or even 3 out, but not right now. We'll talk about exactly when. And then let's also go over inventory just so you know what's available out there. All right, let's get into it. So this might seem a little scary, but it's actually what I think the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And if you can really buy at these prices, they're about to come, survive that mortgage rate, and then refinance in a couple of years, you're set up for success. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But look at this. The United States of America housing market to see the second biggest correction of the post-World War II era. When to expect the home prices to bottom. So home builders and economists alike saw the 2000s housing bubble brewing. They just didn't know it would burst. Their reasoning being that at the time, home prices hadn't really fallen since the Great Depression. And a lot of this artificial inflation that's happened right now was because of COVID and what's happened. And that is now past us. And people are being forced. They have a choice. Quit or get fired or get back to the office. And people are going to have to start going back to their offices. They're going to have to start working. Government money is over. Free government money. And the IRS, if you didn't notice, they're increasing the taxes. And what your tax returns are going to be, they're going to go from you getting money back to owing tens of thousands of dollars. And I can see foreclosures coming. I can see these homes getting slashed in prices. And on top of that, I just don't understand. But there's new home builder companies, construction sites, and they're continuing. They can't sell the homes they have. They're slashing the prices by $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and they're continuing to build even more. I mean, this is a mega recipe for disaster. But if you can save a good $5,000 or $10,000 minimum on the sidelines, hopefully even more, get that whole 20% down. But it's not necessary at all. I'll tell you why. I bought my first home with $3,000 down, and I bought a lot of rental properties all over Wisconsin, Indiana, Kentucky. I've bought rental properties as low as $30,000 or $40,000, and you could really get a good number of rental properties in that $50,000 to $100,000 range. And just quickly flip them over, use the equity from those houses, get more. And you could, within 12 to 24 months, you could have 5 properties going for you. And especially if you get a good manager to help you with those, you're set. It's beautiful. So we'll go over that as well in a little bit. But there's a lot of news out there that we're going to go over right now and how scary it's going to get. So hopefully you didn't buy a home in the last month or two. And if you're a new home buyer and you want to purchase your first home, or you want to actually maybe buy your first or second rental property and you need help setting it up, I will be actually making spreadsheets. You're going to be able to follow these spreadsheets. You're going to input the price of the home, the taxes, your incomes, in extra cash, every single thing. And it's going to help you figure out what you can afford, what price range you should buy. And I'll even make a second spreadsheet of where you should be buying, which states, which cities, and which places to avoid. Remember, you should never be buying your rental properties where you live. Okay, it doesn't make sense. You should buy them where they're gonna make you the most amount of money, right? You don't have to ever look at one of these properties. I would say at least the last 10 properties, I bought them, never, ever even flew to take a look at them. Just did a virtual tour, had somebody, kind of go through the property, show it to me via FaceTime, and boom, the deal was done. And 20 days later, I was already working on getting my first tenant. So 4 tips for selling your home in 2022. If you have extra properties and now they're up 75, 100, 150, 200% up, you should absolutely consider selling them because they're going to crash by some insane amount of money. And you could potentially sell now and rebuy back in the next 3 to 6 months 2 properties for what you sold one of them. So do not wait for mortgage rates to get too high. You really want to sell them now because if you wait, we're going to be another 2% up higher, and then it's going to really impact your price. Keep tabs on the competition. Absolutely. And you want to invest into repairs and not upgrades. Okay. All of that is generally money out the window. Upgrading your window, any windows in your home, is literally like throwing money into the toilet. Anything when it comes to your fence, a lot of the external stuff is not going to raise the value of home. Couple things that really will raise the value of a home is something like renovating the kitchen. Okay, that's a really, really big one. Fixing up the bathrooms, but everything else, stay away from it. Just do a little bit of repairs, beautiful paint job, and get that thing, get it gone. So partner up with a real estate agent who knows your neighborhood. That's very, very important. I do not, when I'm in Texas, I do not use my real estate agent from Texas in Indiana or in Wisconsin or Kentucky or wherever I'm buying my rental properties. I get one there that's literally specific to that neighborhood that lives in that general area, and I can learn a lot from them. I always realize I will never be the smartest person in the world. So I want to talk to the agents. They're in that area. They're going to teach me a lot of stuff I don't know, and they're going to point me in the right direction, and they're going to be my best friends. And generally, when I decide on an area and I get a real estate agent to help me out, I have that real estate agent for life. And we develop a friendship, and we trust each other. So let's take a look at 30-year fixed rate mortgages averages in the United States. Again, we did crash, and this is not going to be correct, but goodness gracious. So not crash, dropped. We saw the rates, okay? The mortgage average over here rate was about, it's not showing it all the way at the bottom, but we had people, even me on a couple of my properties, I got 2.5 on them, which is unbelievable. Historically, just unbelievable. We're now right here, and this is not updated correctly. It's showing 7, but we should right now be, as a new purchasee of a home, you should be I'd say somewhere in the 8.9 to 9%. So it's getting up there. Now, we've seen some historically crazy numbers here, as high as 18, generally, 10% here, 9.25. Let's go back in the 2000s. We saw highs of 8.5. So again, right now, we're still not even close to some of these higher numbers. You going back over here, look at that. 8.8, 8.9, even higher. So I think you purchase your home now. Once they crash, wait a couple years, and then you get a better rate, and you'll be fine. So let's go over here and switch really quickly to my brand new Twitter page. Again, it is at real estate. So it's right here. It's actually going to be at real estate Allen. Okay, and this is real estate with Allen, but I couldn't actually get the username to spell out real estate with Allen because it was apparently too long. I don't know what's up with Twitter doing that, but at real estate Allen without the with. If you want to find me on Twitter, I will have that link in my description down below. And you want to follow me, I will be adding sheets on here as well. You can literally just download them, and you can then literally open up your Excel. Once you open up your Excel, just input a couple of numbers, and boom, you'll have a good idea at what price point you should be buying or looking for a home, and what price point you should be looking for a rental property. And it's really going to guide you and make sure you do not you don't really want to overspend where you can't afford these properties. So new these are your monthly supply of new houses in the United States. You can see the supply of homes is skyrocketing. And don't worry, okay, you're going to see a lot. And I'm talking about, we had people that were buying exotic cars, they were purchasing homes, they were doing all kinds of stuff because a lot of people continued to work, but they were still collecting the government checks and stimulus checks and everything. And then they were opening up basically fake businesses and then taking out money for that. So there's billions of dollars that needs to come back. And trust me, the government is going to come back after these people. This money is going to go back, and that's going to cause housing and car prices, car prices to crash so bad that you're going to have an amazing opportunity. I'm actually holding off on getting another car, and I will do that. But I pay attention to the car prices. I go to Car Guru's price charts. I check out the Lambo index, and I make sure, it's all kind of pointing in the exact same direction. I have a friend that works at an insurance company, and lots of vehicles are being repossessed now. Repossessions are skyrocketing. And over the last couple of months, that grace period of these individuals that were able to not pay, literally, they pushed their home mortgages by 1 or 2 years. They pushed their vehicle payments by 1 or 2 years. That grace period is over now for 99% of the places. And in the next few months, when it's completely over, what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of vehicle repossessions. You're going to see eventually all these homes come right back. They're going to be short sales. They're going to be foreclosures. And you have to have some cash standing by to take advantage of these opportunities. Really, once you buy this property and you rent it out, and then, your mortgage on this home is maybe $800-900, and then you're getting $1,400-1,500. Now you're getting $500-600 extra, which will now, allow you to save up another little bundle of money. And then the next 6 to 12 months, you got your second property and then your third property, and you're really set up for success. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm going to have updates on all of that. So look at the housing inventory here. These are the active listing counts for United States. And you can see we really went down to practically nothing here in February. But right after that, it started slowly ticking up and ticking up and ticking up. And we don't have, the information here is not really shown for August, September, October, November, and it will be updated. But then you're going to see this line go way up here. And this is going to kind of match where we were over here in 2016, 2017. So these are all really good signs for those of you that finally want to get that home or that rental. Again, so the median sale price of existing homes. Okay, so you can take a look. 355, right? Let's go over here, 354-ish. This is, and then, we're going up, and this skyrockets, by June 2022 to $413,000. And this was that peak. And now you can see we're slowly coming back to reality. And again, I really want to see this, not at 384, but I want to see it below where it was. In fact, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but I actually want to see the median home price come down by about $120,000. Again, I'll tell you why. So this is on bankrate.com. So let's say you got your home at $425,000. You put your down payment. Your interest rate right now is going to be somewhere around 9.1%. And I don't know, let's just go with 90210. We'll go with little Cali fun zip codes. And, not everybody can put down 20%. And, you're going to be at $3,100 if this comes down to 5%. And, you're at $3,600. But be very, very careful. Okay. These property taxes here and, PMI and everything, it's going to add up. Make sure I really, really try to stay away from anything HOA. And I'm going to tell you right now, HOA is a homeowners association fee. And I had a friend of mine. He purchased himself an apartment, a condo, and he was paying $5 a month. And they wanted to add a gym and they wanted to do some renovations to this building, fix the outside parking lot, and they bumped up the homeowner association fee from $5 per month to $410 per month. Okay, $410. So imagine if you're paying $1,000 a month, and now that becomes $1,410 a month. It got to the point where it was just over what he could afford, and he ended up being kicked out of his home, losing his home because they hiked up the HOA fee from $5 to $410. So just lots of bad experiences with lots of people. Really, if you have an option never to get one, never get one. If you're really dead set on a property, on a home, and you really want to get one, I understand, but it creates problems even if you're renting. Sometimes they won't allow you to rent buildings. They won't allow Airbnb. Be very, very careful. I stay away from HOA fee. I don't need a homeowners association. I don't need anybody touching any of my stuff. And I don't want to be controlled by their rules and regulations that can change in the blink of an eye. And don't think because a homeowners association is $5 that you can afford, and that's fine, because it can be $400 that very next month and you have no control over it. So just be very, very careful. Now let's take a look over here. This is in Liberty Hill, Texas. This is a home that got slashed from $710,000 to $599,000. My goodness gracious. And you're going to see a lot of these cutbacks, and you're going to see discounts coming everywhere. And especially as these rates go up, these prices are going to come down. So it's going to be very, very good for people that want to purchase a home. Now, let's take a look over here. And we're going to take out a little bit of a calculator here, okay? And we'll put it on the side. Okay, so if we take a look right here. Okay, so we are now, we're let's say Q3 is 454,900. Okay, so 455,000. Okay, and if you take 455,000, and really, as you can see, we're kind of at a steady incline since the 80s into the 90s. We had a pullback here. Look at that in 2008, 2009, pretty serious one. And from there, let me go back here. From there, let's see here, 2006 to 2009, you can see that we actually went up a little bit. Now, from that 300, okay, let's see, what is it? 208, which was in 2009. And let's actually expand this a little bit. So we're going to include this price here of 455, and we're going to go down to, let's say went up a little bit from here, where it really should be is 337. So 337, let's take a look here. Okay. You're talking about 455,000 minus 337. 455 minus 337. Talking about $118,000 correction that we should be expecting. So I just said 120. Let's just say 118. So really, even if we're not in the $120,000 correction, I think we should still see at least $100,000 correction. So this median home price still needs to come down. I mean, I'm talking about minimum of 20%. So let's take a look. 455. 364. Oh, we'd really have to come down. Wow, goodness. So probably more like 25%. And, at 25%, I would expect that to be somewhere in the month of January. Let's see here. Yep, so around 25, 26%. So you have to just kind of stay patient, get that money ready. Now take a look at this, which is kind of ridiculous. Increasing number of homeowners are upside down on their mortgages. At the end of June, 24% of homeowners were upside down. A quarter of them were upside down on their mortgages. In other words, a quarter of the homeowners owed more on their mortgages than their entire house was actually even worth. When added to those with no equity remaining in their homes, the percentage climbs to over 32%. Holy smokes. A third of people now that bought are upside down. What that means is they can never refinance that home. They're stuck with that interest rate, that mortgage rate forever until eventually that home comes above there. Nevada, Arizona, California, and Colorado are the biggest offenders with rates of 40%. I mean, this is pushing, imagine, oh my goodness. So this is probably going to push from 40 to 50% over the next 30 days, which means you literally pay twice as much as you should have. Imagine you buying a $500,000 home and this thing goes down to like $250,000. Whew, get ready for a wild storm over here and some really, really amazing opportunities in everything, in the stock market, in the crypto market, in the housing and real estate markets. Right now, we are going to see opportunities of a lifetime. In some of these markets, homeowners are walking away from homes where they may owe twice than the mortgage. And borrowers no longer qualify for some of the programs that might be able to help them. So there's less people that qualify. These homes are now, that by some of these people that bought, worth half of what they paid. Okay, and you're getting a lot of these companies, Facebook, Robinhood, you name it. They're cutting somewhere, look at even Twitter. Twitter cut like 50% of their work staff. So people are losing their jobs. Homes are going to lose half, 50%, and some have already in certain markets lost 50% of their value. Okay, and when you combine all of that together, you're going to have an opportunity of a lifetime. These opportunities, they come every 20 to 50 years, or sometimes they just don't come in a lifetime. So you really, really have to work as much as you possibly can. Save every penny you can. Because if you can scoop up one or two of these rental properties, and get them rented out, and in a couple of years, get another, you're going to use the equity from those and get a third or fourth property, and then you are set for life. Everything is paid for. Those homes are paying themselves off. They're also paying your own personal house. You have financial stability. You don't have to really worry about ever losing a job, because you have extra income coming from those properties, and they're also growing in value. And then on top of that, you're going to be able to, you're going to be able to get that mortgage rate down, right? You can refinance at some point, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and then what you have to pay monthly is going to come down, and it's going to be glorious. So just get ready, get that money ready. And again, watch out. I will be putting out spreadsheets and all kinds of products. I'll have additional videos to explain how you should purchase. We'll go over your finances. Anybody, again, also, if you're interested in helping me find rental properties, I do pay $5,000 commission per property. So if you help me find a rental property, I purchased it, you're getting $5,000 from me. Again, it's like a big thank you, and it saves me, maybe you have additional time. I don't. But again, I'll make that up within 2, 3, 4 months of renting that place, and then you've done all the hard work for me. So I do appreciate that. Again, if you are interested in looking for those properties, I'm interested in Kentucky, Wisconsin, maybe Michigan, but I'd really prefer most of them in Indiana. And again, just contact me. It's at real estate with Alan at gmail.com. The name of the channel at gmail.com. So in response, some are urging the government to begin reducing loan balances to help borrowers cope with the problem. Oh my goodness. Lowering loan payments or rates will only make the mortgages drag out interminably and still not recoup the home's equity. We're set up for a disaster here. So get ready. You have to take advantage when the stock market crashes, when the crypto market crashes, when homes crash. These are your buying opportunities of a lifetime. This is really, truly the time when millionaires are made. And not the last 2 years. The last 2 years when you should have been basically waiting for that tip and then selling everything. And right now is really the time for you to be buying into everything. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter as well. That link for Twitter is in the bottom as well. And if you're interested in buying stocks or cryptocurrencies, I do have a second channel called Invest with Alan. That link is in my description down below. Again, thank you for watching and take care.